This is Carrie's Culinary Crafts. Welcome if you are new. I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button down below and give me a thumbs up. Today I have a bunch of little miscellaneous things that I want to do in the kitchen. So one of the things that I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and make some roasted red pepper hummus. I opened this jar of roasted red peppers for a recipe, so I want to go ahead and get this used up. And I have some chickpeas from my canning pantry. I have some tahini paste here, some extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper, and some lemons. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and make this hummus, and then we will get on to the next thing that we have to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dump these into a strainer and rinse them off really good. Okay, now that these chickpeas or garbanzo beans are nice and rinsed off, I'm going to go ahead and dump these in my food processor. And since I'm using a quart jar, so I'm using quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put my tahini paste in. I'm going to need, for this amount, probably about a half a cup of tahini paste. So I'm just going to use up the rest of what is left in here, if it comes out. Because I can't squeeze. Let's do this. Okay. Not from my canning pantry, but my regular pantry. It is done. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump in this. It's about 3/4 of a pint of roasted red peppers. I'm going to dump it all in there, that juice and all. Jar for my canning pantry, and we're going to put in some salt, probably about a teaspoon. Those chickpeas, you know, don't have any seasoning or anything, so you will need a lot. So I put about a teaspoon in for now. We will taste it just to see if we need more later. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a nice hefty dose of pepper. Oh, and you know what? I forgot one of the main ingredients, garlic. And since I have to use a lot of garlic, This is a good way to use this garlic that I'm not fond of at all. I'm just going to stick with the fresh because to me this just has no flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and put a hefty dose, probably maybe about 1/4 of a cup, maybe a little less. Yeah, that's a little bit less. That might be like 3 tablespoons. It's not quite 1/4 of a cup. And I'm going to go ahead and put in some olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. And I have 2 lemons here. I'm using 2 lemons just because of how much garbanzo beans I'm using. If you were making a smaller batch, you'd only need 1 lemon. And we'll see if I can squeeze this. If not, I'm gonna have to call my husband. Okay. Not completely squeezed, but squeezed good enough. I don't want to interrupt my husband while he's working if I don't have to. So that was a nice easy one. Okay. And that's all we need to do. And I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this until it's nice and smooth. Okay, that was probably about 2 minutes. It still might need to go. I think I see some little bit of chunks in here, but I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste test for seasoning. I love roasted red pepper hummus. It's my husband and I's favorite. And all the recipes, when I first started making it, I followed the recipe and then I just kind of started adjusting to our taste. I like to be able to taste all the flavors. I like to be able to taste the lemon juice. I like to be able to taste the roasted red peppers. And that is the biggest thing, that with the roasted red peppers, anytime I followed a recipe, it was a very, very mild flavor. You could barely taste it. So I started, doubling it and so forth and so forth. So now every time I make it, when I use a quart jar of chickpeas, I use a whole pint. There was a couple missing from that pint, but I will use a whole pint because I like that roasted red pepper flavor to come through. So this needs a little bit more salt. And pepper. And you know what? Just to spice it up a little bit, I think I'm going to add some red pepper flakes to this. Now this is totally optional. This is not in like a normal recipe, but we like a little kick with things, so put in about half a teaspoon. And even with all that garlic that I put in there, I could not taste it. That's why I said about this garlic, just has no flavor. I'm just trying to use this up, and then I'll just stick with my fresh garlic. So I put another maybe 2 tablespoons in there. Let's give that another mix. Oh, that's good. Okay. So we'll stick with that. And my husband, whenever he does his celery snack, today instead of peanut butter, he'll use the hummus. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick some in this bowl. Okay. All right. And then I will just drizzle a little olive oil on top. And this you definitely don't have to do, but I have some nuts here that I'm trying to use up. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of those on there. And this one, I'm going to have some friends over. So I'm going to keep this one for that. And then I will fill this one up. And then this is the one that we can eat off of. It's a good thing we like our hummus because this makes quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the refrigerator so when my husband needs his snack later, and this is probably what I will have for lunch. I'll dip some nice veggies in it. And I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and get my food processor bowl cleaned up because I'm going to need it clean and dry before I can go ahead and shred up all the block cheese that I have to shred up over here. So I'll bring you back. Okay, so while I'm letting this air dry before I go ahead and shred up all the cheeses that I have to shred up, I thought I would do some some peppercorns. When I'm cooking, I don't like to sit there and crank the pepper shaker. You know, this one, if I need this just to dust on the top, I will certainly do that. But what I do is I like to grind up my fresh pepper. So that way I still have fresh pepper, but it is a lot easier when I'm cooking for recipes with all of these holes in it to sprinkle with pepper. So I am going to go ahead and probably do up the rest of these peppercorns. And I'm going to put these in here because now that I'm at the bottom, it's mostly big chunks and they're not coming through the little holes. So I'm going to add that in there. Let me do that first. And then we will get grinding. There we go. See that? And then this way you have fresh ground pepper, but you don't have to sit there and crank it. Pepper, I'm going to be seasoned. And depending on how fine you want it is how long that you do it. I don't mind it being thick because these holes are bigger, but I just don't want the whole peppercorns. I just want to make sure they are all done. There's a few peppercorns in there, so I'm going to do a little bit more. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump this in. Let me go ahead and do the last of this. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, I probably could use some more. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with peppercorns. Okay. So, you know what? I think I am just going to go ahead and grind up the last of it. There's only a little bit in here. I have a whole nother thing, but I need to check my order to see when my automatic delivery from Amazon comes that has the peppercorn. Second bottle. And then meanwhile, I'll get this through the dishwasher. Okay, there we go. There is my fresh ground pepper. That should last a little while. You know, I cook with it every day, so it's not like it sits around for many, many months or anything like that. It gets used up pretty quick. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, and then we'll do the cheese. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and get started on shredding up my cheese. I have 4 types of cheese here. And the first cheese I'm going to go ahead and shred up is this Gruyere cheese. I had bought 2 blocks of this for my holiday dinner, which I know you guys will see a video of that. I don't know if you've already seen it or not, but for Christmas Eve, I do like a traditional Christmas dinner from different countries around the world. And this time I did Switzerland, and this is a cheese from Switzerland. It is Gruyere cheese. And I bought 2 of these because I wasn't sure how much I was going to need. I only needed 1 of the blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and shred this up so I can go ahead and use it in some recipes. So, and I have a little bowl here, glass bowl, that I'm going to use to put this cheese in. Okay. This is a cheese I don't buy that often, but when I buy it, I definitely enjoy it. It is very, very tasty, and it melts really, really well. So there is my Gruyere cheese. And I'll put a little sticker on this to show what kind of cheese it is, because I will be also putting some Parmesan cheese in a container as well. Okay, and here I have some Parmigiano Reggiano from Italy. I'm going to go ahead and shred this up as well. And these rinds that don't get ground down, I will use in soups and stuff. So normally I will stick this in the freezer, but I have some soup in the crock pot, so I'm just going to go over and stick these in right now. Okay, I have this little container here. This is what I like to put my mozzarella cheese, or not mozzarella, my Parmesan cheese in. Because this fits on the bottom of a box grater. And you can hand shred it, but I have hand issues, so I take all the shortcuts I can. And a food processor makes quick work of doing Parmesan cheese, any kind of cheese. Okay. And this I will go ahead and stick in the refrigerator. And the rest of this, I'm just going to put it in a little baggie and then stick it in the freezer. And then when this gets emptied, I can dump that in. There's Parmesan cheese. Okay. So the next cheese I'm going to go ahead and do is mozzarella. Okay, and there is our mozzarella. I'll stick this in a big silicone bag. Okay, and there is the mozzarella cheese. And now we'll go ahead and do our final cheese, which is the sharp cheddar. And if some of you are new, the whole reason that I do shred up my own block cheese is because, one, it is much creamier than using the already shredded cheese that you find in the grocery store. When you buy the shredded cheese in the grocery store, you notice that little film that is on the cheese pieces. That is an added ingredient to help with the shreds not sticking together. And if I can put as little extra things in my body that I can, I certainly do. I certainly don't want extra chemicals or anything like that. And I prefer to use the white cheddar cheese because the only thing that makes this orange is a food dye that is put in it. So I normally like white cheddar cheese, but the past several times I got my cheddar cheese, they didn't have the big 2-pound blocks. So I've been having to get the yellow cheese, but it is not my preferred. Okay, and there we go. There is all of our shredded cheeses. I like to do it all at once, so when I get out my food processor, I can do all of it all at once. Okay, and there we go, shredded cheddar cheese. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make some egg salad. So I've shown this many a times on my channel, so I'm not going to give you the step-by-step. I'll let you enjoy some music. Sweetie, it's not that time yet. It's not that time yet.